Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this Valo Internet webinar that will be hosted today by me, Sébastien Levert. The topic of the day will be how can we create engaging content in SharePoint Online? So this is the goal of this webinar is to be really the ultimate guide to creating engaging content in SharePoint Online. So who's your host? My name is Sebastian. I am a product manager at Valo Intranet. We're going to come back in a few seconds on what is Valo Intranet. I am from our North American offices, so based out of Montreal, Canada. I've been an MVP, a Microsoft MVP, for the last 5 years now, and I'm really happy to have all of you here today. Please feel free today to ask any question through the chat window. I will be monitoring those as they come in. Also, please feel free to ask questions through the Q&A. If you have any questions or any comments on the webinar, please feel free. At the end of the webinar, there will be also some call to actions. If you'd like to see more about Valo, if you'd like to know more about Valo, please feel free to click on those. So what is Valo? Valo is a multiple award winner of the best intranet or extranet in the SharePoint community space. We've been awarded Best Mobile Solution in 2018, Best Intranet in 2017 and 2016. We've been there. It's been now a good couple of years that we're around. This Valo journey started in 2014 and has been a great success since. Not only we are good in what we do, but we also are a solution that is reasonably priced. So you get a ton of value by going with Valo, not just as a tool to give you productivity value, but also you get a lot for your money. We have been awarded the Internet Choice for its value from the Clearbox report for the last 2 years, and we're really proud of that accomplishment. We are an award-winning digital workplace solution on Office 365 and SharePoint, so we are the center of all your communication. And the topic today is really based on that. We're really going to talk about communication and how you can really build great content in SharePoint Online for your SharePoint sites, SharePoint communication sites, or SharePoint team sites. We are also the social and teamwork center, so we have different pieces in Valo that maximizes your productivity and also build a great social relationships in your workspace. We have a beautiful user experience. We make sure that everything you see, everything you do is always based on best practices and make the user fall in love with your intranet. We work on any device. We're extremely quick to get things going, so stop thinking about those 6 to 12 months intranet projects. We are a ready-to-go solution, so you don't have to go through all of those different pieces. We're also fully customizable, so if you want to take Valo and make it your own and really push the platform to its limits, it is definitely possible with Valo. And because we are native to the cloud, we are always up to date. So we live very closely with the Microsoft ecosystem, and we always make sure that everything you see, everything you do is always up to date. In the numbers, Valo is more than 550 customers around the world. We have more than 2 million users today that are using Valo on a daily basis. We are deployed in more than 45 countries around the globe, and all those deployments are happening through our network of 250 plus partners around the world. So you probably have been working with one of them, or maybe you're looking into engaging with one of them. We are working with, I would say, one of the most amazing network of SharePoint partners that exists out there. We have 3 different solutions at Valo. The first one is our Valo Intranet, which is the focus of today's webinar. on building really a full digital workplace, making sure you get all the most popular internet features in a single package, a single product that delivers all those capabilities. The second one is the Valo Teamwork. Valo Teamwork is where you find and manage all your Office 365 groups. And the last one is Idea Management, where you can contribute to the corporate success with proposing new ideas, building projects out of all the ideas, all using a gamification aspect to it. So really, really, really powerful solutions that we have right here. The agenda today is fairly simple. We will be discussing 3 different topics. The first one will be how can we make relevant content? How do we make that? What are the different tips and tricks that you should be using when you're creating your content to make it relevant, to make it powerful? The second one will be how to make your content pop. How can you play with the SharePoint Online platform to make sure that everything you're doing is always ready to go, is always beautiful, is always exciting for your users? And the third one will be to bring your user into the conversation. Not only you want to submit or suggest great content, but you also want the opposite way. You want them to give you feedback. You want them to give you some retro on that. And for us, it is extremely important to do that. So that's why we have here the third topic here, which is to bring your users into the conversation. So first element here, let's start with making making some relevant content. Our first tip and trick is to try and use some clickbaitiness in your title. And the reason why is when you're creating a piece of content, the title is basically the first thing that we get asked. And it's a great way to reflect on the content that you're going to create. What's the goal of that page? What's the message that I want to send to my users? What's the main focus? What happened in the past that makes me want to talk about this specific topic and create a news or a page out of that topic? The title is the first thing that the user will ever see. So it's really, really important to make it relevant, informative, and even a little bit ludic and all at the same time. So don't try to be too funny or don't try to be too much clickbaity, but definitely something that is boring or very, very dry title will not engage with your user. Give me some examples. Maybe we just shipped our new products and we're stoked. How we transform our customer by helping them reduce their carbon footprint. FY 2020 is approaching. Let's make this our greatest year so far. So all of those different titles can really be extremely powerful. It is important. Something also super important is don't get yourself discouraged by the title of your post. It's not because you don't know the title right away that you should not be creating the piece of content. So you will have the ability to rename, to add images. That will all inspire you. So let's see how this could work. So let me use this one here. I'm just going to go to my Valo environment right here. And now I will be able to create a new post. So let me create a news right from here. I'm going to call it how we transform the carbon footprint that I said earlier. So let me go here. I'm going to create a news out of this one. So here you can see our Valo functionality where you can have a global templates right in here. And I'm going to create this one in my Valo What's New site. And I'm going to make it a highlight news. So let me create my news article. So here while I was creating the title, you see how easy it is to create content in SharePoint Online. So for us, it is really important to be able to enable you and make you powerful when you're creating all that content. You're going to also see that one of the biggest way to have an impact on your users is to use images. And images are extremely powerful when you're telling a story. So that's exactly why we will be using some of those images in the content that we're about to create. And it is extremely powerful. The users first love it, but also are enjoying the fact that images are easy and simple to play with in Office 365. So here you see my beautiful image. If I want to change my image, I just have to go here, see all of my approved assets from my organization. Go here, I'm gonna go to my generic and let's select one of those images right here. Let's select maybe this one here. I'm just gonna open and automatically is gonna change it and I will be able to move this around. So that's gonna help us a lot in making sure that our story is easy and makes sense, easy to work with. A second tip that we have is to use quotes when needed. Quotes are powerful. Quotes are experience of someone else that you can bring inside your own content. So how do you do quotes in SharePoint Online? Is pretty easy, but why would you do that? Or what type of quotes should you put in? First, there's some inspirational quotes to help you contextualize a decision, a move, a philosophy. But there's also a testimonial quote. Maybe you want to have the voice of your customer, someone from your organization that says something really interesting about your project. Both type of quotes are really important. The best thing here is the fact that it is really easy to bring quotes to Office 365. So now I'm here in my modern page and I will be able to see that I have a pull quote. So the best way to create that is to, and let me maybe make it a non-quote for now. It doesn't want to help here. Let's do that here. I'm going to do the following here. So this is an amazing quote. And here I will be just able to select that and select the pull quote right from here. And it's going to create automatically a very visual quote directly inside your environment. It is powerful. It means that it brings some trust to your content. Quotes are really a great way to create content in Office 365. A third tip and trick that we have around making your content relevant is to tell a story. We don't want to tell a story just by creating textual information. Text is good, it can definitely tell a story, but if you want to bring your readers on a journey, it is important to have some really impactful element. It is important to leverage some storytelling capabilities. And SharePoint Online has a fantastic hero web part. It is a piece of content that you can add to any page that has the ability to vertically tell a story, to have kind of a natural flow in the way the story happens. Not only you're going to get a nice visual effect with the inclusion of images, but also you will be able to break the story in chapters or smaller units of story, so it is easier to enjoy reading the story. So how do we do that? Well, when you go to your page, you always have the ability, and let me maybe create the story right here, to select what they call the hero web part. The hero web part is a very powerful web part that can be either on that format, so this format is really kind of the wide format, but there's also a way to make it from a layers perspective. And here is really where you will want to build your content. So here, let's say I want to select an existing link, and I want to select the link to this content here. Automatically, you will be able to build that story. You will be able to change the text of every single one here. So you'll be able to do that, maybe with a small description. Bring your users on a journey. You will be able to change that. You will be able also to bring some topic here. So you will be able to say health and safety, in a way that you will be able to build your UI. And here, let me do another one, maybe this one here. We're going to have the ability to see this content. So building that story is going to be for you kind of the best way to bring your users. So when the user will read the content from top to bottom, it will have kind of an introduction. In that case here, maybe a media gallery right there. Then afterwards, he's going to be brought into a story that will help him understand what's the topic and what's the reasoning behind this amazing content. So let me save this page right now as a draft. Let me maybe add some images here that will be interesting from a visual aspect. And then we're going to see what's our first version of that page. And then we're going to be able to move on to the next topic. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to open, and automatically here you can see all my medias. Maybe I want them to be visible as a, maybe a grid. Yeah, a grid is good. And let's go with that. Let me save that as a draft. And then we are good to go. Good starting point to telling my story to create engaging content in SharePoint Online. The second topic is to make sure that your content pop. And when we say pop, it means we want to impress our users. We want to make sure that the content that is being put on a page is so much interesting to look at that in the end, you want to stay and you want to read. It makes the content extremely engaging. So the first thing that is extremely powerful is one of my favorite features of SharePoint Online, and it's called the section background. When you're writing using pen and paper, sometimes you're going to find yourself highlighting some sections of the text, underlining some words, changing the size, and sometimes it's hard to make that happen in a consistent way in an online platform. But we want to put emphasis. We want to kind of say this is really important, or this should step out of the rest of the content. And that's why we really believe that section background are a great way to do that in SharePoint Online. So if I go back to my content and I re-edit this page here, let me just delete this quote. There we go. Let's keep it like that. Here, let me add a new section. So this is one of the areas that is getting a lot of great features, I think, in SharePoint Online, which is the fact that you can build your own section layouts. And let me just drag here the media that we had earlier, right in there. So now you can see this section here. Let's make this first section a 1 column by just modifying it. And here, wait a second. There you go. Now here you see everything is pretty much white. So why don't we just select this media here, modify the section, and make the background really powerful? Those medias are impactful. Those medias are important for my users. This is where people want to see the content. So why not we just put it there? So that's why we really enjoy having those emphasis that is being put on those section backgrounds. So really powerful, and it really helps in breaking out the story in multiple pieces. Introduction, medias, and afterwards the story that I want to tell. It is also really important to use icons and images when it's relevant. So something that we see a lot, I'm just going to go back to the slide for a second. Then we see a lot is links to content. But links to content with just text, sometimes it's not a great way to tell the story about that link. It doesn't really bring the user attention. It doesn't drag the user eyes to the right place in the page. So how do we use those icons and images when it's relevant? Well, it is important to um, um, bring those icons in here, and we do that using the quick links web part. So here you can basically let's re-edit our section. Let's re-add a third section here, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do a quick links. The quick links here are really powerful. So maybe I want to send to this page here. So you can actually select, or you can even add a random link from your organization, or from the outside. And here, automatically, it's going to automatically select based on the content. But in that case, I want to select an icon. And there is a powerful set of icons that exist in Office 365. So maybe I want to say that this is related to travel. So I'm going to use the airplane here. And automatically, it's going to change it to be to the airplane. I may be able to add another link, maybe the latest ideas page that I have. And it talks about ideas. So why don't we get a bulb, maybe like a light bulb? So I can go here and see bulb. I can search for it, and then I can automatically find the light bulb directly from here. And when I'm ready, I just hit save as a draft. And now all those icons are being saved with my content. It makes a lot more sense. The visual of those icons really tell a story around what are those icons for, especially for people that sometimes might not be even native to the language. You can also help them from an accessibility standpoint to understand what the content is about. We also discussed a little bit earlier around images. Images are powerful, and that's why we want to have them. In SharePoint Online, when you click on an image, you really get into a full, what they call lightbox or viewer mode. So you can always have the full experience, even though you're still on your page. Just go here on top, you close it, and now you're good to go. Really powerful set of functionality. And as you have seen also, we're using images on that storytelling in the hero web part. So all of those assets really help building great and engaging content in SharePoint Online. The last element that I want to cover in this section is really to make it interactive. Add documents, not just links. In SharePoint Online, you can add actual documents, add videos, add social media. It is important. So that's what we have in Valo natively, where you can go in, edit this page, drag and drop a document. So here I have the slides from this webinar. I'm going to drag and drop them right here. Look at that. Look at how easy it is. Drag and drop of a document directly in SharePoint Online. You don't have to go on and upload the document and then get the document and use the right web part. No, it automatically understands what you're doing. It understands it's a PowerPoint, and it's going to automatically embed the actual deck directly in SharePoint, in a SharePoint Online PowerPoint viewer, and I can see the deck that is right here. So this is extremely powerful, extremely easy, and this really brings your content to the next level, because now you don't have to really bring a link or a screenshot or something. No, you want to refer to the actual document? Well, just embed the document right in there. Let me save this as a draft. Other thing is to bring some social medias maybe to this, some videos. So there's multiple ways that can happen. One of the ways that we have at Valo is we are bringing a lot of social activities around Office 365 to bring your users to be the brand ambassadors of all your social media. So you can bring your Twitter, maybe bring your Facebook, your Instagram, bring your blog, bring your Pinterest, bring LinkedIn posts, or even bring some videos right in here. super important, extremely powerful, but especially very, very much of a storytelling. There's stuff that happens outside the organization. So you might want to engage with those people to bring back inside the organization the social impact that you're having on social medias and bring them directly back to your organization. Let me go back to the page where we were. And here, it is really powerful. We have pages, we have web parts, and all of those takes time. You've been building an engaging page. You've been adding sections. You've been adding web parts. You've been adding content. But in the end, you might want to be able to share that content with everybody in the organization so that they can, when they create the content, they don't start from a blank page. There's nothing worse than starting from a page that doesn't have a structure, so you feel a little bit lost in your inspiration as you don't know where to start. How do you do that? At Valo, we have that nice toolbox here where you can create content and you can create a page template. And let's call it our webinar template. I'm going to use that as a news, and I'm just going to create the page. Automatically, what's going to happen here, we're going to save this page as a page that you will be able to reuse for your next endeavor, for your next journey, for your next story that you'd like to tell your users. So bringing the templating in here is really important. It makes your solution a lot more effective, as if you spent thousands and thousands of hours building a page or a news, you want to be able to reuse that content in a way that's going to make it specify easier for you. So here, I'm going to find my page right here. That should not be too long. Looks like there's no demos that can be perfect. And here we are. So we're back. And now, if I go to my page, I can create a new content, a new news based on that webinar template that we just created, where we're going to see here a sample of that content based on the content that we just had. So as you can see, it's exactly the same page, the same content. So now we can reuse that not only in the current site collection or in the current site, but in every single site that you want to go in. So as a corporate communication manager, you might want to save a page as a template so everyone reuse the same press release, the same news template, the same page template. Really important. That will make your efforts worth it and will make all of your content a lot more well-structured, a lot more, the pop element of this will really bring that to a whole new level. So we're really excited about this in SharePoint Online. The last topic is to bring your users into the conversation. So there are multiple ways that this can happen. But one of the ways that we really find that is important is to be able to embed related conversation to broaden your impact. You might be using Yammer as a way, as your town hall, as a way to have those corridor discussions in a remote first organization. But how do you kind of tie in your content from SharePoint to your content from Yammer? Well, the exact same thing can happen here. So let's go back to our page. Let's maybe edit this page. And let's say that I want to bring in, at the end, maybe some topics, or let me do it here, actually. Let me go here, let me go to Yammer, and you're gonna find some Yammer conversations, and you will be able to bring in, so here, maybe I wanna have conversation from the What's New public group, and automatically here, we're gonna see all the different conversations that happened in Yammer lately. So maybe you want probably more of a side conversation. Here, let me put that as a maybe only 4 conversations that will be automatically loaded. And now there we go. So let me maybe put this one. I just want to make sure everything looks beautiful. Let me put it here. Now when I save my draft, I will be able to have kind of a side-by-side experience here between my conversations and the rest of my content. Bringing those conversations will make really huge impact on your digital workplace. It's going to bring all the products all together, and it's going to make a lot of sense. Now, what about those at the bottom here? Please leverage commenting. Make sure that comments are part of your journey. You want to have that feedback. You want to have this extra layer of retroactive feedback from your user. You want to make sure that you understand what they like, what they don't like, and you want to listen to them. So, and they will also want to maybe ping you to tell you that you did a great job. So here I could do, I could ping Sébastien. This is a great story. And you will also be able to like those comments, like those news in general, and also reply to existing comments. So everything is actually possible right out of the bat with all of those different pieces that exist in SharePoint Online. Getting the feedback is a great way to make your journey a lot stronger than it used to be, because now you really get back the users, really get back what they think, you really get back what they want. And that's how you will be able to shape a digital workplace that will make a lot of sense. Those pieces might have created some question on your end, so I'm definitely open to answer any questions you might have around the Valo platform or SharePoint Online, how to create engaging content. I didn't want to keep you too long in the in this webinar. I wanted to be quick, to the point, give you some tips and tricks that you can bring back right away in your organization to make sure that you have a great engaging conversation with your users. So we have a question is, what's the difference between Valo and SharePoint Online? How can we leverage both? So Valo is a product that sits on top of SharePoint Online. It enables you to use all the features from Microsoft in SharePoint, Stream, Yammer, Microsoft Teams, but it also adds some of those capabilities that you've seen today, creating templates, creating news, having those Yammer commenting web parts. Those are all Valo features that come into play and complete your digital workplace. We have another question. The second question we have is it possible to migrate content from one site to the other when our content is done? It is definitely possible using the create templates. You could just save that and create that again, or using third-party tools. This is also definitely possible to do so. I don't see any other question right now. Let me just check if everything is in clear. Awesome, so everything is good. Thank you everyone for joining me today. If you want to see more about Valo, feel free to go on valointernet.com/book a demo. It is the best way to get in touch with us, or maybe through the follow-up emails that we're going to send. The recording will be available, so you will be able to share this with your colleagues. Hope you had a great time with me today, and I'm going to tell you to the next time. Cheers, everyone. Bye.